Hello everyone. Do you participate in spring craft markets? I do, and I'm going to share with you some of the projects that I've been working on for the spring and summer season. The first market that I'm in is the week prior to Easter, so I've included some Easter themed items to have on hand. In my last video, I showed you how to create these cards and tags from a printable design set. And I promised that for this video I would show you how I create these notepad holders, as well as one item that I create making use of my empty tape spools. The tape spool project is coming up later in the video, but for now let's focus on the notepad holders. So for the sticky notepad holder, start off with a piece of cardstock that measures 7 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Place your paper in the scoreboard and score at 1 3/4 inches, 2 inches, 5 inches, and 5 1/4 inches. And then just crease your folds. So these sticky notepads are from Dollar Tree, so I've sized the creases accordingly. You may need to adjust the depth depending on the size of your sticky pad. And I like to have the shorter portion folded over for the top of the holder. So before I glue the sticky pad down, I like to round the corners. It just gives a nice finished look. And it also saves it from getting damaged in your pocket or your purse. And then the next step is to get the sticky pad adhered to the holder, just by gluing on the back. You can use a glue stick or liquid glue to get it stuck down. And then you want to make sure it's nice and stuck. I use my little scraper to make sure that it's nicely attached. And I just apply some pressure both from the back once the glue's on there. And then I flip it over and apply pressure from the inside as well. And for the closure, I use a hook and loop closure, and I buy these from the Dollar Tree. And I find it easiest to apply by sticking them together, attaching them to one side, and then applying pressure by closing it to attach them to the second side. You sort of peel it apart and then make sure that that second side is nice and stuck down. And we're done. So these are the finished sticky notepad holders. I keep them sweet and simple. You can add an embellishment on the front if you choose, but I don't, as these are a one and done type of item that will likely get stuffed into a purse or pocket, and anything on the cover would likely get knocked off and leave a mark of some sort. So they're super fast and easy to make, and they're a really nice low-priced item that I can offer at the sales. As a side note, this is the page in the design set that I had originally designed specifically for the sticky notepad holders. However, when I picked up my one printing order, there was an error, and the sheets for the tag pockets were printed single-sided rather than double-sided. So I decided to use those as well, and they worked great. They just needed a little trim off each end. So these are the notepad holders that I use to make this set. There's 3 in a package. They come from our local Dollarama, and they measure 4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So cut a piece of cardstock that measures 10 inches long by 5 3/4 inches high. And on the 10-inch side, score at 1 5/8, 1 7/8, 6 inches, and 6 1/4 inches. And then fold at the score marks. So the short flap is going to go on the right hand side. And I'm going to use a decorative strip on the right hand flap and a larger cut apart for the main part of the cover. And before I get those attached, I'm just going to round the corners of that front flap. I got a little sidetracked between recordings for this video, and I'm now working on a different notepad holder. The cut aparts are different, but the process is the same. So the notepad is glued down and the corners have been rounded, and I'm now sticking down a small inside pocket with a thin bead of glue on the sides and the bottom. And this little pocket measures 3 1/2 inches long by 1 3/4 inches high. And I put a thumb notch in the top of it. I've attached double-sided tape to the back of the decorative strip for the front flap and also on the cut apart for the front cover. You can add cardstock as a backer to the cut apart if you like, but for these I just prefer them just as they are. I think these are really pretty and they don't really need anything else. And again, I'm using the hook and loop circles to create a closure. So attach them together, stick them on your front flap, and then fold that over and press down to get it stuck to the other side. So I'm punching a circle from chipboard, the same size as the decorative circle, and I'm going to adhere those together with some glue and then stick them down to the front of the pocket. And that gets attached to the pocket with some foam tape, and then the notepad holder is finished. These are the finished notepad holders that I made using just some cardstock and some simple cut apart embellishments. I love these vintage designs, but of course you can use any cardstock or cut aparts that you have on hand to create your own take on the project. These are great to give as little gifts or to use for stocking stuffers or gift baskets. I always have one in my purse for jotting down notes, making lists, or just doing some doodling. The strips on the front flap are the same strips that I used for the card liners in my last video. And the round circles on the inside pockets are the circles that I used for the envelope seals. So there are options for using these elements in different ways. I really like that there's a little bit of variety in the way that you can use these different elements. I think this is one of my favorites. It's just very, very cute. So just for reference, these are the printable cut aparts that I used for the notepad covers. The larger cut aparts measure approximately 3 1/2 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And as I just mentioned, the strips are designed to embellish the inside of the greeting cards, but they also work equally as well as the embellishments for the notepad holders. And the small circles were designed as envelope seals, but they work well to embellish the pockets. I also made a few of these for the sale using cut aparts from my previous design set, which was the theme of love with some pink floral patterns. And again, these are really nice for gift giving, gift baskets, just to keep on hand for yourself. And again, I've used the strips to adorn them. And this one shows how you can use the front pocket to tuck in an inspirational quote or tag if you're gifting it to a friend. I think these would make great little favors for a bridal shower, and they're super easy to make. These are a few of the other items that I'm taking to the sale, some simple decoupaged bunnies and some of my gift card sets. And I'll leave a link in the description below to the video on how I made the cards. So as promised, the final project for today is what I did with my empty tape spools. Once you take the final piece of tape off, they're still tacky on the outside, just enough to grab onto some twine. I made a bunch of these wreaths for a Christmas market, so I thought I'd try and tweak the idea for a mini spring wreath. I've wrapped these in twine purchased from the dollar store. This is the thickness of it. Believe it or not, you need about 8 feet of twine to wrap one of these spools. Once I'm finished wrapping the twine, I secure the end piece with a bit of hot glue on the underside of the wreath. And this is the finished product. A few pink and green picks, also from the dollar store, some twine for a hanger and bow, and a wooden heart painted with some pink metallic paint. Well, thank you for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon.